They're expensive to operate.
Even back then, it was like $600 an hour to get an R44, just for like camera work, like just as a camera platform. Forget doing anything wacky. But then those helicopter hog hunts, I think those were like $5,000 to $10,000 a man per day or something like that. And we got everything for free, so it was just trying to appreciate the moment, when you're getting to do everything for free. But every helicopter pilot I've met is just such a cool guy. He's what you think he's going to be. Usually, like they're usually like 45 years old, little gray in their beard, and they still just love to have fun in this thing. It's what they were passionate about it. And I remember asking them, like, hey, and oftentimes when we were dealing with these people, like when we dealt with this guy one time where we were renting a tank from him. He owns the tank. He's rented the tank to World of Tanks, the video game, and World of Tanks has put me in it. And he's standing over there, arms crossed, watching me and his baby, this perfectly restored World War II tank. And I'm the devil on the shoulder, and they're telling the driver, God damn, this is just like it would have been back in the day, We're all wearing fucking, he's a reenactor himself. I was like, we're about to run over a Jeep, and I'm like, man, let's hit it like it's a fucking Nazi car, and we're bringing freedom to Berlin. And he's like, rip the fender right off this fucking museum piece. And so I was always the devil on the shoulder for these people. And the helicopter pilot, I was like, hey, it'd be pretty cool. It'd be kind of like that new Tom Cruise movie if we tied a rope to the landing gear of your helicopter and then tied the other end to me, and then you just kind of flew around town. He's like, that would be cool. And I was like, yes, you're my guy. I really expected a no here. You know what he said? Better tie a good knot. Yeah, love
He was going to let you tie it?
I did tie it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you going to let somebody else tie that knot?
Well, I would prefer a harness over a knot.
Yeah, I would like someone who's good at knots.
Yeah.
Something's got to connect the rope to the harness, though. Like, I'm in the harness, but somebody's got to tie this rope to the heli, and then somebody's got to tie it to my harness.
What knot did you use?
We went on the internet and found correct knots, and then we very carefully tied them there.
You didn't wing it?
That's
just a double knot.
Just a double.
Cinched it up good.
It was good enough for shoes.
I wanted to be able to tie
knot, granny
it.
knot. They look the same.
Yeah, yeah. Don't want to get dropped onto a fucking freeway outside Houston.
I don't know much about knots at all.
I can't tie a tie without a video on the internet.
I'm in the same position now. It's been so long since I regularly did it that I was thinking about it like earlier today. And I was like, I genuinely don't remember.
I like the double Windsor. I like a symmetrical tie knot. So I've got to find, I can't do that lazy one side over thing. It annoys me.
I'm the same way. I can do the knot that you don't like, but I don't like it much either.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always cockeyed. The double Windsor's a fancy man's knot. But the worst is you tie it really well in a double Windsor, and then it's like, oh fuck, it's like barely down to my navel. Now I have to restart again. And there's no way when I get it the correct length, my knot is going to be as beautiful as it is right now. Can I just pull it down?
I can remember sitting in front of my TV with the tutorial for the double Windsor on the night before court. Ty is sitting on the fucking ironing board because I keep crinkling it up in these ruined knots, and I keep ironing it flat again and starting over. And it's exactly what you said. Either I fuck the knot up some way because like my spatial reasoning is retarded, or I tie it right, but now I look like fucking Yogi Bear. And I've got like a 4-inch fucking tie, like a fucking retard from a cartoon movie or some shit. And I'm like, on it. It might have taken me an hour and a half.
I get cranky every time I have to tie a tie in my adult life. And I'm like, this is so antiquated, so anachronistic. Hate this.
Yeah.
Lots of normal people have federal drug charges. That's not that big a deal.
It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. It happens. Happens.
And once you get the pardon, it's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Is it?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if the Schedule 1 thing is happening. I looked it up like a week ago. Marijuana has not been reclassified. So like Biden did a thing that resulted in nothing. Now Trump's done a thing. I think it's too early to say it resulted in nothing. It was only like a month or two ago. But I wonder how that will land.
I mean, they've fibbed to us before plenty of times on that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully. That would be great, and hopefully that would mean that people like Kyle get expunged or whatever the fuck. But I trust his opinion on it more than me, and he seems to believe it is entirely hopeless. Like there's no chance in hell ever in a million years.
It always seems to be that whenever they talk about pardoning people, it's for like people who got caught using it. Whereas while he didn't actually sell it and he wasn't accused of selling it, he was accused of distributing it, which I guess was to like people he like friends and family and girls. Yeah. And distributing it, that no one wants to forgive them.
Nope. They should forgive old Kyle. What did he even do other than order an illicit substance through the federal post office? Nothing.
I mean, I didn't think anyone checked the mail.
Oh, they're checking. They're gonna, I know. So I find the onions. I find all the onions in the mail. No, I check.
So
like this kid got recommended to me on YouTube, and he's got a $12,000 airplane, and looks
seems cheap.
Spacious is the wrong word. It doesn't look cramped to me.
It is a plane.
It's a real plane.
It'd be cramped if he had a passenger. I see he has 2 sticks there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So they'd be really
around to get a view of it on the ground versus like him piloting it and stuff. And he was flying across the country. He was going from like maybe Indiana to like somewhere in New England. Like he was doing that like route with a few stops along the way. I think the plane was going like well over 100 miles an hour. I remember that. Over 100, less than 150, something like that. And it was doing like 4 gallons an hour is what he was burning, which seemed like
I bet if you wanted to get to Raleigh, the version of you that has this plane versus the version of you that uses your car, I'm not sure who wins.
I live right next to the airport. Like,
well, I don't think
really
you use that airport.
No, like a civilian
an airport
like,
that you would use. Okay,
small one that I could use. Yeah.
So let's say you're 10 minutes from the airport or less, and then you have to pre-flight it and get going. If you're in a hurry, you're off the ground in 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then you do the flying. Oh, well, you have to gas it up, I assume. And I don't think you can make it in one shot.
Probably
so you have
not.
to stop and fuel it up. And
yeah, for sure. I'd have to stop, in South Carolina or something at Anderson, probably. There's an airport
something
there.
like that.
That's the one that I'd like played around and flown that Cessna at. I don't know. I was shocked when I saw it was $12,000. It's like that's what my motorcycle costs. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna sell that motorcycle when the weather gets better this year anyway. You know, like kind of what's it
something about that amount of money is like it's simultaneously a lot of money, but not totally out of impulse purchase, right? Like
I won't miss this 12. I won't miss it, but you know what I'd like? A fucking airplane. You know what I mean? And it's like, what's it cost to get your pilot's license? That's several thousand. I think I was told 5. When I
don't know if you need a full blown. You might be able to get. Is it called a sport pilot's license? Something like that.
Oh, that's interesting. If you're flying, I bet if you're flying one of these experimental planes anyway, you're probably locked out of certain airports, maybe by the class of the plane, and maybe even the class of your license.
I don't think so. Whatever. Sport pilot license is right, and I think it's more about the weight of the aircraft than the whether it's experimental or not. And a recreational pilot's license is the one that you would otherwise get. I think it's a little easier to get, and I don't think it restricts you at all. It just restricts what kind of planes you can fly. But they created this sport pilot license class, if I recall, to make aviation more popular.
Oh, it's also $5,000, $5 to $10,000.
Yeah, and
so
the other,
like the license costs almost as much as the goddamn plane. It's crazy.
You need a place to store the plane. It's probably not a hangar because the hangar is expensive, and oftentimes there are wait lists for hangars.
His looks like you could. I've seen helicopters put on trailers and just towed behind someone's pickup truck. I don't know if his wings fold up on that plane, but if the wings fold up, roll it right onto a trailer and just tow it to keep it at my dad's house. I don't know.
Right. But now we've created at the beginning of at the start and end of every flight, there's an hour-long task to do, which is like hook up a trailer. The pre-flight gets more tricky and important, and it's just so inconvenient and so expensive. I will say this: I think flying a plane is the biggest financial mistake that anybody makes. So you have to be okay with that.
When I lived in Locust Grove, there was a neighborhood that was built around seemingly the idea of making this convenient. Like the neighborhood was like, instead of the neighborhood built around a golf course, it was a neighborhood built around
really neat,
an airfield. And there was big hangars there that you could see. And clearly, like, it was a bunch of like dentists and like real estate guys who had a little bit of money, and they had $100,000 plane, and they sort of had their life rotating around that airfield. Like I said, instead of a golf course or lake, there's lake house communities that are like that a lot of the times, where it's sort of a lake based community, but it was an airplane based community. It was right next to where I used to live. I would drive past it a lot and think that was pretty neat.
I think that's super cool. You know, like, listen, an airport doesn't have to be as expensive as they make it out to be. Like, you know, let's just do this. And some communities do it. What other hobbies? Obviously golf, rarely, but sometimes aviation. Are there any other communities based around hobbies? I don't know of any ice rink houses.
Yeah, it's not like you can go live at the racetrack. Who would want to? It'd be so goddamn loud. Racetracks are so loud.
Planes are so quiet. I have been at airports, like just little general aviation airports, and a Cessna will sneak up on me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's a good thing I wasn't standing on the runway. It just came into land and it was right there.
Yeah, those are cool. I've flown in single engine and double engine, and then I've flown in some like medium class airplanes. That flight that we took from Burlington, Vermont to, I don't even remember where we ended up. Oh, no, we went from Boston to Burlington, Vermont. That was a weird, like, in between. Like it definitely wasn't a big enough plane that you're like, we're good. This isn't the kind of plane that goes down. It was still that class of plane that goes down. And that was the scariest that was the scariest.
I wasn't
flight
on that plane, but for that same trip, because I met you at the place.
Yeah.
I remember the plane I took. They asked me how much I weighed and chose my seat for me accordingly. I was like,
yeah,
fuck, this isn't my normal airline experience.
Yeah, the pilot was an ogre. He must have been 6'4" and very overweight. Like, he was already a giant, but then he was fat. And he was like, all right, who's the heaviest? And I looked around at all these girls and tiny men, and I was like, I think it's me, buddy. And he's like, all right, you're my co-pilot. Oh, no. What? I'm holding the flight checklist, sitting in the co-pilot seat, holding it so that he can read it the whole way as he's like going through his checks and flipping shit and taking off. I'm helping him navigate. I'm up, and we're bouncing around, losing and gaining so much altitude in the snowstorm that I've got my hand under my seat pulling to like keep my ass stuck to the seat, and then the other hand is showing him like whatever chart he needed to look at, because we were at zero visibility. The snowstorm was it looked like a screensaver in the way that it was just constant snow being blown at us at 150 miles an hour. That's when Kitty's cousin was in the back, and he needed 2 vomit bags, one to piss in and one to vomit in.
Jesus. I had